Welcome back to another episode of Chaos and Recovery. Today on our episode we have Bama.
How you doing?
Bama, thanks for coming by today. So I think it was... how long have you been sober so far?
Just over 27 months.
27 months.
Yep.
It's amazing, man.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, I think it was... So, like, I didn't know you were sober, and then you posted on social media about your 2-year anniversary and stuff.
Yep.
And he actually goes to the gym where I have rental space at the mill.
Yeah, so I saw you driving out with the white van.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that mill was like where I used to do a lot of my dirt.
Yeah, I heard when you were talking about sweeping the floor and
Yeah.
picking up. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, most of mine was at home.
Yeah.
Or bars. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, like I was telling Jess earlier, I was never really into drugs. Just loved to drink.
Yeah.
Just kind of became my thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, 2023, or 2022, I started to try and get sober. And, like most people, I'd hit 30, 60, 90 days, fall.
Sure.
Do it again. Each time it just got uglier and uglier.
Yeah.
And then, I was, my wife was away. She wasn't my wife yet, but she was away, and I was on a hard bender. I mean, I must have had 12, 13 different bottles of vodka, and I was just slamming them down. And I don't know why. There's nothing, nobody wakes up and just says, I want to do that. It just, you got like this pain inside your head you just want to shut off. And the only way to do it for me was to just drink. And my brother came over and he had called the ambulance. And I was obliterated. Mm-hmm. But no matter how obliterated I got, I always had some sort of coherency to me. And they wanted me to go to the hospital. I was like, I'm not going to the hospital. I'm not doing it. I'm in my house. I'm not bothering nobody. I'm not harming anybody. I said, and I knew the law. I said, they can take my vitals, and that's it. They can't force me to leave my house. Mm. And so...
Yeah, and he came over unexpectedly?
Yeah, he just showed up with, the fire department, cops, and everybody, And I said, I'm not going, And I was pretty set in my ways. I'm not going. And by this time, it was... This was 2023. I had lost a lot of weight because I wasn't drinking for days I wasn't eating for days at a time. I was just drinking.
Yeah.
Wake up, drink all day till I pass out. Wake up, drink again. And it was just a nasty habit because, I would try to get sober, and it just wasn't happening. And a day he came over, he was not happy. He wanted me to go to the hospital, and I just wasn't. So when they left, he grabbed me by my arm, threw me on the floor, and then picked me up and pretty much just drug me out of the house. And he's like, well, you're coming with me. So he brought me to my parents' house where I finally went through the last, I'm getting sober. Because then it was like, I knew I was sick. I didn't feel good. And I knew if I didn't get sober, I was going to die. And I didn't want to die, but I knew it was coming.
Yeah. Mm.
So I spent the better part of probably 2 weeks just throwing up. I couldn't eat nothing, drink water, throw it up. And it was like that for 2-3 weeks.
You detoxed by yourself?
By myself. Cold turkey, nothing. Yeah, it was rough.
Yeah.
It was no sleeping for days. It was just
shaking.
Sick. Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah.
God. Yeah, it was, I went from drinking nonstop for days to just cutting it off, and it was brutal.
Yeah. Where'd you do this, at your parents?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I've done it there a few times.
Okay.
But not to this extent. And then come Thanksgiving, I couldn't eat. Now we're like 4 or 5 weeks later. I wasn't feeling good, so I go to Kent County Hospital. I just thought I had to go to the bathroom. I thought I was backed up or whatever. So I go to Kent County Hospital, and I'm sitting there. It's like 12, 13 hours I'm sitting there, and still hadn't gotten seen. So I said, well, forget this. I left. The next day, I went to the walk-in, and she goes, you're too sick to be here. And I said, what do you mean? I said, I feel like I just need some laxative or something. And she's like, no, you need to go to the hospital.
Yeah.
So they sent me back to Kent, and I was like, I really didn't want to go because I didn't want to sit there for 12, 13 hours. So I ended up calling, at the time, the charge nurse. She was a good friend of mine. I coached football for West Warwick Steelers with her husband, and so she got me a room right away. So I was only probably in the waiting room 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, Kent County wait in there for drinking issues.
Yeah, they treat you like shit.
It's insane.
Yeah.
They put you in a little glass
Yep.
area, and like you sit there for a long
Yeah.
time.
Oh, I've been there a few times.
Yeah.
So she gets me a room, and the doctor really doesn't know what to do with me. He's like, dude, you're sick. I was like, dude, I don't feel sick. I felt fine. I was done throwing up. I wasn't throwing up anymore. And I was like, dude, I'm fine. I just haven't been able to go to the bathroom. And so he says, there's nothing we can do for you here. You got to go to a different hospital. So then they transported me up to Roger Williams. I got a room at Roger Williams pretty quick, and I got a nurse or a doctor comes in, and she goes, it was like the most cold-hearted thing ever. She just looks at me and she goes, you have 90 days to live. And you have anybody here with you? She just
Fuck.
she treated me like trash, pretty much. And I get it. I've worked in hospitals, they look at people that are alcoholics or addicts and whatnot, and they have no remorse for them. They treat us like scum. So it wasn't cool, but whatever. So I ended up going upstairs in Roger Williams. I was there for a little while, and I had a doctor there that said, there's nothing else we can do for you here. You have to go to Yale, or you got to go to Boston. He goes, you need a transplant. And
Which kind?
Liver. And I'm like, dude, there's no fucking way, But it happened really quickly. I ended up your liver stops doing its job and your body starts filling up with fluid. So I would have to go a couple of times a week, and they call it getting tapped, and they would stick this long 16-inch needle into your stomach and drain the fluid off, and you'd have to go back every couple of days and do it again.
Wow.
So not like a small bottle. They're putting gallon bottles or liter bottles up there, and then
So where it gets pumped out of your stomach?
So they put a long needle in with
Yeah.
the hose on it, and it goes into a bottle.
So is it pulling out from the liver or the stomach?
The stomach, because now it's leaking into your stomach
Holy shit.
cavity.
Yeah.
So I would have to do that, and then because the liver's not doing its job, it's not getting rid of the toxins. I started getting ammonia levels pretty high, and I was going a little cuckoo. So at this time, I could hardly walk. Now it was almost as if they sent me home on hospice, but not really. I had a nurse come over trying to get my legs stronger, just checking up on me, but there was nothing they could do. And I had one night, I had no idea where I was. I was walking in circles around my house trying to find the bathroom, and it's my house. I've lived there for years. I know where the bathroom is. Just couldn't find it. And so my wife, I don't know how, she got me in the car and drove me in the middle of the night all the way down to Yale, which is about 2 hours away.
Yeah.
And we get to the ER. She tells them what's going on. I think she called them before I got there, because we got a room in Yale ER, which is pretty hard. It's the second busiest hospital, emergency room in the country. And it was wild there. People screaming, just everywhere. There was no place for anybody.
Is that Hartford or?
Yale is in New Haven.
New Haven, right? Okay.
And it was like a nightmare.
Yeah.
Beginning. So we were in the emergency room for a couple of days, and then went straight to the ICU. And by this time, I couldn't really walk at all. Now I had pretty much lost all strength in my legs, and I'm in the ICU. I got my own room, this huge room, and now you can't do anything. You can't get out of bed. You can't do nothing without somebody there to help you. And I was in there. I went in the hospital in November between Kent, Roger Williams, and Yale, and then I got out in March. and then I had to go back for a month because I was sick again. But it was, we were in Yale. I was in the ICU. ICU stepped down, and it wasn't looking good. They basically told me, without a transplant, you're not going to live. So they had me say all my goodbyes and everything. Had my whole family come in, said goodbye to my kids.
Jesus.
Yeah. My buddy's dad's a pastor. I had him come in and just asked him to do my funeral. I set up my whole funeral and everything. And then, so it was President's Day, so it was a Monday. They don't expect me to last the night. So my dad did come down a lot. He was down almost every day to check on me. And him and my aunt had just left. They were driving back, and I get a phone call from someplace in Kentucky. And it's late at night. But I'm like, what the hell? I was like, pick it up. And it's Transplant Centers of America. And I just thought somebody was just being a dick.
Oh, my God.
Playing a mean joke. And they said, hey, we talked to your surgeon. He likes it. And with, 8 hours later, I was on the operating table. And 2 days later, I came out of surgery. And, my wife's there, my parents are there. And it was just, it was wild. I had tubes hanging out of me left and right. Bags and bags and bags of fluid coming in, coming out. And when I woke up, I was restrained to the bed, and I didn't know what was going on. And there was this 6'4", 300-pound guy laying in the bed with me. He was a nurse. But he's holding my head because I had a bad reaction to the anesthesia. So they had me restrained to the bed, but I'm still trying to take the tubes out of me and stuff. So he's basically his job was to sit there and hold my head. And when I came to, I didn't know what the hell had happened. But apparently, after the surgery, it was 2 o'clock in the morning or 3 o'clock in the morning. I was losing a lot of blood, and they couldn't figure out why. So they had to call the entire surgery team back in. They had to cut me back open and figure out where I was leaking and then fix it. So I was out for a couple of days. I was under. And then it was, after that, it was just a long road of getting stronger and, getting out of there. But it was a long road. Because one, they wouldn't do the surgery unless you were sober. And I was under the time frame because they wanted 6 months.
Yeah.
And I wasn't over the 6 months. But because I had been trying to get sober, I'd put myself in recovery, went to treatment centers on my own. I wasn't court ordered or forced to go. They had mercy on me. So they did the surgery, and it was one surgery after another. I had, like I said, I got out in March, had to go back. I spent almost all of April back in the hospital. One of the connections they made from my liver to the intestines wasn't draining, so my liver was swelling back up. So then they had to cut a hole in me, run a tube through the liver into the intestines so the liver could drain. And then for about a year, I had a tube hanging out of me, and every month I would have to go. I think it was every month I'd have to go in, and they would take that tube out, put a new one in, and it was it sucked.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sucked. But it, we got through it. Last summer, right before last summer, they took it out, and then I haven't had to have a surgery since.
Wow.
So I think I had 18 or 19 surgeries all within a year.
Somebody's got plans for you, man.
Oh, facts. I know.
Wow, I had absolutely no idea.
Me neither.
Oh, no. Oh, you didn't?
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. It was a living nightmare trying to get sober. It's funny when you sit back and you think, you feel like you got hundreds of friends, right? You hit somebody up, you got endless amount of people you can hit up if you want to go get a drink, right?
Yeah, no.
Have somebody sit with you while you're trying to get sober. Where are those people?
Mm-hmm.
You can't even count on your hand how many
Sure.
people would, And I got some pretty cool people that stuck with me. I had a lot of people close the door on me and, I'm done with you. Because it was pretty ugly. It was, it's not pretty trying to get sober. That's for sure.
Sure.
You know, I hurt a lot of people, and I used the pain of what had happened to me to basically just do what I want and act how I wanted, and just use that for justification. And it wasn't cool, but in my eyes, it was like, it's how I got through what I had to get through, you know. And then it was wild. You know, I grew up a pretty normal life. I had great parents. They worked hard. But, you know, some bad things happened, and held on to that. So some people can just let go. I could never let go, and it affected me as an adult. And we didn't grow up with a lot of money. So I use that as like a drive for me, like what I saw other people, you know, they had nice cars, money, clothes, whatever they wanted. And, you know, I never had that growing up. Had my brother's hand-me-downs, you know. We just didn't have a lot of money, and we were picked on a lot, my brothers and I. My mom worked her ass off to put us in this private school, and even the teachers there would pick on us because we didn't have nice clothes or nothing like that, you know. And some days you just have to wear the same clothes 2 days in a row because the washer stopped working or something like that. And, man, they let you know, you know, oh, you're wearing the same pants today, you know. And they wouldn't let you know on the side. They'd in front of everybody.
Right.
So it made me get hard, and so I realized, you know, to be somebody in this life, you got to have money, you got to have, you know, things. So I just used that to drive, and I ended up, you know, making a lot of money, getting, you know, my own cars, my own trucks. I did college, did the whole thing. You know, I was living large. I'm not saying I was rich or anything, but I got to a point in life where I didn't have to worry about nothing.
Right.
You know, if I need anything, I just go and get it. It was no, I got to save for it. I did great.
Yeah.
And then I just wasn't a good steward of what God had given me. You know, he'd give me all these great things because that's what my heart desired. I wanted all these nice things, and I was miserable. You know, it's like, well, you know, I have everything I wanted. You know, why do I hate everything? Yeah. And I was miserable. You know, I treated people like dirt. You know, I was running through anything I wanted to run through, anything I thought could take what was ever eating me away, and it just wasn't enough. You know, it wasn't enough alcohol, it wasn't enough, you know, I did some cocaine, it wasn't enough of that, it wasn't enough pills. It didn't matter what it was, it just wasn't enough to kill or stop hurting. And then eventually I almost killed myself with what I was doing.
Yeah.
You know, and then God slowly started taking it away. You know, I lost the job I'd worked at for about 15 years. You know, I started at the very bottom, and I worked all the way up to the top. You know, I was the boss, and he took that away. When I was really in my addiction, he took the, you know, my kids weren't allowed to see me no more, which I was okay with. I didn't want them seeing me like that. You know, they saw enough. But my kid's mother was pretty cool. I was honest with her. You know, I didn't lie to her. She knew when I didn't even have to tell her I was. She just knew. Sure. But because I was honest with her, she didn't try and court order them away from me.
Hold it over your head or whatever. Yeah,
she knew. And I thought that was cool that she never tried to be, you know, you see some pretty vindictive parents out there.
Sure.
And she could have, and she would have had every right to take them from me, and she never did. And that was cool. But, you know, really two reasons why I'm still here. One, God had mercy on me.
Yeah.
And two, my wife. She's a gangster. I mean, I'm a big boy, and she's not. She's small. And she somehow got my big ass in the truck, which was not an easy feat. And she stuck with me through, I mean, hell. You know, I was telling you earlier, I begged her to leave me.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't control what I was doing. You know, I was a scumbag, and I couldn't stop. And so I begged her to leave me, and she wouldn't give up on me, you know. And somebody very important in my life told me that they're just going to let me die because they thought I'd given up. I never gave up. It just, I don't know if you ever got to the point where your brain just doesn't function normally anymore. It's just, the booze takes over, and it does what it wants. You have no control over it.
Yeah.
And so it's not like I was trying to quit on getting sober. I just sometimes you have no control. And, you know, she came to me crying when he said that. He says, you know, you're just going to let him die. And she goes, I don't want you to die. You know, she's like, I'm not giving up on you. And she never did. You know, she would work all day and she'd drive 2 hours down to see me and then 2 hours back. I mean, that's wild.
Well, I mean, that was one of the most emotional rides I've been on this podcast
Absolutely.
Surprise.
Since we started this. There's so many questions going through my head.
Yeah.
Shoot away. Fire away.
First, how old were your kids when you had to say goodbye to them?
This was 2023, so a couple of years ago.
how old were
Riley was 11 at the time, and AJ was 9.
So they know.
Yeah, you know, my daughter, I think, still holds it kind of against me. She's very hard on me.
Okay.
My son he's like my sidekick.
Yeah. Okay.
He even before their mother didn't want him around me, he didn't leave my side. You know, even when I was all messed up, he was just my dude.
Yeah.
You know, and but my daughter remembers a lot, and she, you know, it breaks my heart.
Yeah.
But she's slowly easing up on me. But you know, I definitely caused some trauma with her.
Right.
That, you know, she's tough. She's a tough kid.
So would she be 15 now?
She's 13 now.
13. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Sorry.
she was 11 when I went in the hospital.
Yeah.
No, she was 10 when I went in the hospital. She turned 11 while I was in the hospital.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, the beautiful thing about repair and change is it's all there. It's all possible
Yeah.
with
I mean,
consistency and
whatever bridges are still there, you can repair them. You
Yeah.
know, some are just, they're gone.
Yeah.
You know, some you burn some bridges, they're just gone. But, you know, and I wish, you know, I didn't get into the 12 steps and stuff. I found AA to be really triggering, I guess you could say. Not that I'm a real fan of that word. I think everybody uses that too lightly now. But I never wanted to drink more than when I walked out of AA. You know?
Had that experience.
Yeah. Get my 90-day chip and, you know, next minute you're at the bar.
Yep.
So I didn't do that. They call it white knuckling. I did a lot of that, but I do go to, when I can, I go to Saturday meetings with Rooted Recovery. They do a men's breakfast up in Swansea. I'll go check that out. It's more of a religious thing. It's not a 12-step process or anything like that. It's just a bunch of guys that have been through a lot that get together and, you know, they go through the Bible and they talk. And if you're burdened with anything or if you're going through some hard time, you know, a lot of those guys have been through similar situations, so they have a lot of insight to help you out, you know, instead of going back to what you were doing, you know.
Yeah.
I have a question.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, I think my head's in the same place. I have so many questions, but so
it was
you know,
a lot real quick.
Yeah, I mean it's a extremely profound and memorable story that you have.
Yeah.
And I think that, you know, most of us, you know, you at the face of, I'm sure, what flashes before you, like the things you've taken for granted, or, you know, some pretty profound life emotions or experiences that most of us can't even fathom what it would feel like to endure. I guess being on the other side of such an intense story, what do you understand about life and the really lows that you were in to get you to that space?
I don't know how religious you guys are, but I'm pretty religious, and when God wants you, He's gonna get you. You know, He's gonna let you do all the crap you want to do, and then when it's His time for you, He's gonna break you. You know, until you surrender, He's gonna just keep breaking you down. But I think He has to break down people before He uses them. You know, I was prideful, cocky. You know, I wouldn't say narcissistic, because I knew what I was doing was wrong and I didn't like hurting people. But I was just, I guess, lack of better words, I was an asshole, you know. And he can't use that, so he had to break me, and boy, he broke me. You know, there's when, and not to sound gross or anything, but when you're in the hospital and you can't even wipe your own ass,
Yeah.
you don't have much pride left,
Right.
you know. And it was funny. One day they came in to help me bathe, and they're like, "Oh, we'll close the curtain." I was like, "Lady, it doesn't even matter. This whole floor has seen me naked more than
Yeah.
you know I've ever wanted anybody to." I mean, you have no pride left with what I went through. You know, there's no pride, because I think for a man, having to ask for help is hard. One, and then admitting that they need help is even harder. So yeah, he, you know, pride and all that, man, he took all that away. I'm no longer, I don't think there's anything wrong with being with pride with certain things. Like, I'm proud of my kids. I'm proud of the work I put in to get where I'm at now. But when you're like, whoa, look at me, prideful, yeah, he's going to break that.
That ego.
Yeah, that ego. Oh,
Yeah.
man. I walked around like my shit didn't stink.
Yeah.
You know? And it was wild, because before I knew I needed like treatment and stuff, it was funny because I felt untouchable. And then things started happening. You know, getting arrested. Was one, you know, before I'm like, I'm Big Bama. Who the fuck's gonna arrest me, you know? Who are you, you know? And that was just the mentality I had.
Yeah.
And I got arrested, and I was like, I'm sitting there in the jail cell, and I'm just like, and I didn't even take it serious at the point, because at the time I just knew lawyers, I knew everybody. I'm like, oh, I'm getting out of this. This is nothing.
Yeah.
No, I didn't. It cost me like $10,000. Didn't get out of that.
Yep.
But even at that, like, I didn't even, you know, that should have been a wake up call, and you know, it wasn't.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I just had to get broken, and I'm pretty freaking stubborn.
Yeah.
And I got broken, you know.
But before the transplant, were you very religious before then too?
I was. It's wild. I grew up in the church.
Yeah.
But I hated it.
Okay.
Because of how the people at the church treated my family. And it made me hate church for a very long time. And so I slowly got back into it over the years. I think once you become a father, your mentality changes. So I wanted my kids to grow up in church, but not like how I did. So I was very cautious, I guess you could say. But I was always religious, just not, I guess, spiritual.
Okay.
Now I'm spiritual.
Gotcha.
You know, I don't define myself by a religion. I think religion gets people killed.
Sure.
I think spiritual. And then I think a big part of growing up is I was judging, you know, you're supposed to look at Christ, and he's the only perfect one that's ever walked this earth. But I wasn't. I was looking at pastors and people like that and how they hurt me. And it's like, well, if they're Christian, you know. But I was looking at a man. I wasn't looking at Christ.
Sure.
So if you look at Christ, it's a different story, because he's perfect. He's not going to hurt you,
Right.
you know, but men do, you know.
Yeah.
So once you change your perspective, things line up for you.
Sure.
But yeah, always been. And I actually, you know, there was churches all the way from France to Alabama, Florida, California, all praying for me, that I would get the transplant. I had multiple pastors come in and anoint me with oil. But there's one pastor, I know we're not supposed to use names, but this man didn't stop praying, you know, and he visited me a couple of times, and he's the one I asked to do my funeral. And it was the day he left is when we got the phone call, you know, his last visit, where he anointed me with oil again. But he, you know, he had to talk with me. He's like, you know, are you okay with, you know, with passing? And I said, you know, he did the talk, you know, about.
Sure.
And I said, yeah, you know, I feel bad for how going like this. I said, but I'm at peace with it, because I didn't expect to get a transplant,
Right.
but I got one.
Yeah.
And it was wild.
So run me through kind of like run me through the hour.
Tells me not to move often.
Run me through the hour before you got the call for the transplant. Like, were you with family? Were you by yourself?
I was by myself. They didn't let people in. For whatever reason, nobody could sleep over. My room was big
Okay.
enough. But since COVID, rules
yeah.
changed. Nobody was allowed to sleep over or anything like that. So pastor visited me that day. My dad and my aunt came down for a little bit, and they had left. And it was, I wasn't scared to die, but it was a pretty shitty feeling being there, knowing that's probably my last night and I'm by myself. That was, that hurt. And it wasn't anybody's fault. It was
Right.
hospital policy. They did let my wife sleep over one night on the night I was the sickest. But it wasn't a thing, I was only allowed 3 visitors, but when they let me, the night I got to say goodbye, they let, like 16 people in my room.
Yeah.
We kind of had like a little party.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
a weird party, a going away party, but
Right.
yeah, everybody's hanging out, kids are there. We ordered takeout. It's like you're getting ready to watch a football game, but
Yeah.
it wasn't a football game.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was, I wish they could change that, but
Yeah.
I was all alone. And it's actually wild. I don't tell a lot of people this. I was on an experimental drug. I was the 3rd person in the United States to get it. And that's what kept me going, long enough to get the transplant.
Wow.
Yeah, they have a liver number, and like 17 is normal.
Yep.
And I was at the other end.
Okay.
I was the highest number you could go.
Yeah.
And
So was it cirrhosis or what? Liver disease? Just failure.
yeah, just total liver failure.
Yeah.
But I did the right stuff. They loved the fact that I tried getting sober myself.
Yeah.
I was young. I was a dad. The guy that agreed to do the surgery, I was the first one with the type of, I've had surgeries in the past that kind of screwed up how they would traditionally do a transplant. So I was the first one there that's had the type of routing in my system. So I was kind of like nobody else wanted to do it. And he's like, I'll take the challenge. He says, only because you're a dad.
Oh, wow.
And he goes, I see how much you love your kids and stuff. So that was like,
geez.
it was like everything in lined up,
Do you have a
It-
documentary coming up? Or?
So my wife and I want to write a book,
Yeah, I
from
think
her
you
standpoint
should.
and mine,
Oh, wow. Yeah.
because she remembers things differently.
Yeah, well, she keeps coming up for
Yeah.
me, and I haven't asked because there's just so much here. But I keep thinking about like what the fuck she must have been feeling and going through all of this.
So her mom had passed away a few years back of breast cancer, and she loves me like nobody's ever loved me. And I don't think she wanted to lose me too. So she just clung on to whatever. She didn't want to let me go. Even as bad as I was, she wouldn't leave me. I begged her to leave me, and she just wouldn't. And I think it clicked in her head how sick I was, because we had one of her friends was getting married in Greece, so they went on a 12-day cruise to Rome, Greece, and Turkey. I was supposed to go, and we woke up the day of the cruise, and I said I can't go, and it broke her heart. But I said, would you want me to go with you and embarrass you, or would you rather go by yourself? Because I would have embarrassed her, So I stayed home, and I think that's when it really clicked in her head. Wow, he's really sick.
Yeah.
He's given up going on a 12-day party, basically what it was, to stay home. And I think that's when she was like, oh, man.
We got a problem.
We
Yeah.
got a problem, yeah.
Where did you meet her? Do you want to say her name or
Yeah, I can say her
Yeah.
name. Yeah, Joni.
Joni?
So I met her, and this is actually a hilarious story. We have a mutual friend. So her and I have been at the same place probably a bazillion times and just never met.
Okay.
So I hit up my friend Renee. I said, "Hey, you want to go get drinks?" And she said, "Yeah." And I used to work at Tavern 12, so I said, well, "You want to just go there?" And she goes, "Yeah." She goes, "You care if I bring a friend?" I said, "No, I don't care. I was recently single. Well, I was probably single for about 6 months, whatever. And I was just out having fun."
Yeah.
And she brings this girl, and she walks in, and oh my God, she had leather pants on, and her hair was as wild could get. Like, you know, like the big band, like rock stars, like curly, like. I mean, she walked in looking like a goddess, and it was funny. I mean, when I'm talking, I was swinging high. I was swinging fucking high.
I'm not leaving here without her. No way.
And man, I threw every corny line I could fucking throw. And it was funny. It was. I mean, she came out. She had this like netted sweater on, and she was looking. I mean, and I don't know. My jaw just dropped, which is rare for me.
Yeah.
And I said, I asked her this stupid question. I said, "Are you religious?" And she goes, "No, why?" And because of her sweater, I said, "Oh, you're looking pretty holy." And it was the
Fire.
stupidest line,
Wow.
but it got her attention.
Original?
Right. Like it.
It's funny because I drive this big lifted Chevy pickup truck, and I always had my own spot at Tavern 12 where I parked. It was parked across the parking lot at the truck ramp.
Yeah.
And when they were walking in, she tells Renee, like, "Who's the fucking jackass parked like that?" It was me, you know. And
awesome.
and then we just we hung out for the weekend, and then she ghosted me. And I don't know why, but it kind of turned me on.
Yeah,
you know,
right.
I'm the one that normally does the ghosting.
Yeah,
He loves
I
the
get what I
challenge.
want, and then I done. You know.
Yeah.
And so it was like a month or two. She didn't respond to me or nothing. And I just sent her a stupid Snapchat one day. I don't even remember that. It was just something stupid. And she was going out with her cousins, and I was with my friends, and we ended up just meeting and hanging out, and then that was that. You know, we've been together a long time now.
Wow.
So
How long you guys been together now?
it's just over 6 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So and I was telling her, yeah, I got a baby on the way.
Ah, congrats.
Like 5 weeks, 4 or 5 weeks away from having a baby.
Holy shit.
Yeah,
You know
I
you
didn't
having?
think- a
Or is
boy.
it surprise? Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Nice.
So my son
Is that her first?
No, so she has 2.
Okay.
I have 2.
Cool.
So now this is ours together.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It's pretty wild, and I keep calling him A3 because I'm Andrew. My son's Andrew Jr. We're obviously not going to call him A3, but just to
Right.
piss her off.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So it's we haven't picked a name yet, but it's just I never thought I would be able to have kids after the amount of trauma my body's went through. You know?
Sure.
But we went to. She'd always wanted to go to a Post Malone concert, so for her birthday I got her pit passes, and then so for my birthday she wanted to go back. So for my birthday she wanted to go to Post Malone again.
Oh, yeah.
So she bought tickets, and we went back, and then 9 months after we're having a kid.
Nice.
Freaking awesome.
So what is like? Are there checkups involved as far as making sure all your levels are okay?
Yeah, I go once a month. I got to get blood.
Yeah.
A lot of blood. So I go down to Westerly Hospital because it's part of Yale, and then I go about once a month, once every other month. I got to go check in with the surgeons.
Yep.
Yeah, it used to be I was going down 3 times a week, and I had to go to Yale.
Yeah.
So that was tough.
Yeah.
And after each surgery, it's outpatient surgery, but it's a long ride home, and it's not a hard procedure, but the way they do it, it's painful. And they didn't want to give me anything for pain because of the alcohol.
Sure.
So it was like excruciating every time I'd have to go down for a surgery, and then the 2-hour drive back.
Yeah.
I was like, oh man. And just got through it all. But it's been a long road, but life's a lot nicer now.
Yeah.
One thing I can say, it's I guess they don't really teach you when you go to treatment, is they don't really tell you that you're not really learning how to walk again, but you're learning how to walk again.
Yeah.
You know, for 20 years, all I did was party.
Right.
You know, all my friends like to party.
Yeah.
And now you're sitting back and you're like, you don't really have any friends anymore. Like actual friends, you know, that can just come over and kick it. You know, they don't have to have a substance going on. So it's kind of lonely. You know, obviously I got the kids and family, but I mean, when you go from having, you know, every night you're doing stuff to, you know, I guess I wouldn't really say lonely. It's not as interesting.
Yeah. It's
Much more
different
fun.
lifestyle.
Yeah, it's a different lifestyle, and it's you know, it's awesome because I'm not waking up every day feeling like crap. You know, I don't have to blow into a stupid thing to get my truck to start.
Right.
You know, I don't have to, you know, worry about anything.
Yeah.
You know, and it's one of the things on the blood draws they test for alcohol because like 70% of patients within the first 2 years go back to drinking. After 5 years, they die. And here we are 2 years, you know, over 2 years and
amazing,
still going.
man.
So I'm almost like prideful when they take the blood because I know it's going to come back negative, you know, and it's cool because I'm not going to be that statistic, you know. But yeah, it's you said it's only an hour, so it's tough to put everything that's happened in an hour.
Sure.
Can't wait for the movie. I want to see that come out.
Yeah, but I love the
From
book
the meet
idea.
cute
Like
to the
so
yeah.
it's
Like one chapter from my point,
I was
one chapter
just
from
gonna
hers.
say that.
That's
Really
that's
cool.
what I was thinking.
yeah.
You know, I think that would be pretty wild.
Oh, that'd be amazing. Yeah.
Oh,
I'd
yeah.
love to throw it in my English teacher's face because I suck at English.
Oh yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
when you bring up Yale, right when you brought that up earlier, we all three of us have a mutual friend who
Yes.
Had-
Same thing.
cirrhosis of the liver.
Yep.
34 years old, I believe.
You got a liver and
He
kidney.
was, and he went to Yale,
Yep.
and unfortunately, I was still. He was one of my best friends. I don't know if we're talking about the same thing, but we
You went
might.
to high school with him, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Russ.
Oh yeah. I wasn't using names.
Yeah,
but
yeah, yeah.
I love
Well,
Russ.
first
Yeah.
names we can use, not last
Oh,
names,
right.
so we're not throwing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so, unfortunately, I was never able to go visit him. I was still deep in my own
Yeah.
addiction, but he was another one I didn't think would be able to quit long enough to get the.
So it's funny you say his name because I was, he had messaged me on Facebook saying he had a liver transplant at Yale, and my wheels were spinning because I'm scared to death.
Yeah.
And he wouldn't respond, and I was like, "Why won't you respond? Like, I just need to know what I'm in for."
Yeah.
And yeah, you know, I miss him a lot. We were real
Yeah.
good friends in high school, playing
Right.
football and stuff, and then just lost track. You
Yeah,
know.
sure.
The shitty thing with his dad happened. I know he fell off after
Yeah.
that. So that I miss Russ.
Yeah, yeah. I see him every now and then
Yeah.
because I'm down in Wakefield where he lives right now.
Okay.
He was working at one of the grocery stores, and every now and then he'd run up behind me and my daughter and like come give me a hug.
That's
and
awesome.
Yeah.
But I'm glad he's doing well. But it's to have liver fail. You have to do a lot of work to have liver fail at 30-something years old.
Yes, no. Liver disease runs in my family.
Oh,
even
really?
With non-drinkers. Yeah, I've had my dad's grandma died from it. She never touched alcohol in her life.
Oh, okay.
My dad's got liver problems. My brothers have liver problems.
Really? Yeah.
But you add alcohol to the cocktail, and no bueno.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it kind of just runs in the family, but I'm the only one that was a drinker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting because you can see that it translated to, all the things in your life. It's like you have the physical representation of the liver and the sickness that broke you to your core, of course. But, you can see that when it comes to maybe that wasn't you, right? But it ruined every relationship you had in your life. It ruined,
yeah, of
you know what I
course.
mean? So it's like, it's interesting when you have that physical representation, but like, how is your heart? How is your spirit? How is your mental, So it's
Yeah.
like just the capacity of adding liquor to any of those diseases. It just, it breaks you
Intensifies it.
down
Yeah.
eventually, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, no, unfortunately. But like my path, alcohol was always my first love.
Yeah.
Alcohol and cocaine. I mean, there was 1 and 2 nonstop all the time.
And they go hand in hand.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and until the gig was up in like early 30s.
Yep.
And I had to go to rehab, and I found a woman of my dreams, and we were gonna have our family together, and it was like, I can't drink. She can't know I'm drinking.
Yeah.
So I stayed sober for a while, and then that's when drugs really came into play because I could do drugs and she wouldn't smell the liquor on me.
Yeah.
So I'd be high and I'd be feeling
You
different.
could deny it till you're blue in the face because it doesn't smell or anything.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. So like it was first it
New
was
new modes of manipulation.
new modes
Yeah.
of manipulation and just getting outside of my body in whatever way possible.
Because you're not comfortable with yourself.
Never was comfortable with myself, you know. Never could love myself because I always felt like I was, just trying to run away from whatever I could.
Yeah.
I never wanted to face anything. Never, even relationships. Like, I pretended like everything was always okay,
Yeah.
I didn't know how, like you said earlier, I didn't know how to ask for help. I'll ask for help, but it was always a manipulation tool.
Yep.
Like I'd ask my dad for help, but it was always because I was in a rut and I needed money, and I'd ask him for help, and we'd go to hit some of his AA meetings,
Yeah.
and that was my manipulation tool. It was like, all right, look, I'm trying to do better now.
Yeah.
Let me get that money so I can get out of this rut. I'll go to AA for a couple months,
Yeah.
but like I always in the back burner was going to use again
Yep.
because I just didn't have enough pain yet. I
What
don't
was
know.
it? What was like the final?
I think the last couple of years I've really truly wanted to get sober. My meth addiction had just gotten to a place where nobody wanted to be around me. Everybody that was around me hated to be around me. I could feel that energy, Nobody could trust me. I wasn't reliable.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just a person that everybody had to be around because I was family, I felt.
Yeah.
And I just hated being a loser. My dad me and my dad went to a job one time, and I was having like an emotional breakdown because my girl wouldn't let me see my newborn daughter.
Yeah.
And I wasn't talking to my kids, and she wasn't talking to me, and we were on like this big job, and I kept like crying going to the bathroom, and finally I got out of the bathroom, and he saw that I was like crying in there, and I was like, I need to go up to the truck. So I went out to the truck, and he comes out.
This your dad?
This is my dad.
Yeah.
Now this is a big job that we were on. Like it was a government job. Like he comes out, gets in the truck, drives me to my truck, which we were in Portsmouth. So he drives me to Jamestown, Park and Ride. He parks. We didn't say nothing the whole ride. He said, "Get out of my fucking car. I don't want a junkie as a fucking son." And like that was one of the most pivotal times because I was just like, the
You're
gig
your
is
lowest.
up.
Yeah. You're your lowest.
I have nowhere to fucking turn anymore. Like I am. I'm a junkie. That's all I amounted to, and it's just like all I've done. I could say I wanted to get sober before, but I don't think I did.
Yeah.
I just, for some reason, drinking and using drugs was like just the best thing in my life, and I couldn't get away from it. I also didn't know that I needed to be spiritual to do so. I didn't know I needed to work on myself.
When your dad called you that probably hurt more than anything, right?
That was pretty hard. I cried the whole drive home back to this little place that I was renting, fucking a mill, basically homeless. I didn't have anything.
Yeah. Yeah, my dad called me a scumbag, and that was like, it felt like he cut me with a knife. It's like,
I mean, I don't know about your dad, but like my dad's my hero.
yeah.
Yeah. And it's like,
Yeah, I've actually worked a job with your dad before.
oh really?
Yeah, in Wakefield.
Oh, no.
We had a pretty nice house.
Yeah.
But you have a tough job to do though. With a lot of the painters they get pretty tore up a lot.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the community alone, it's like,
Yeah, there's
We
something to be said
just
about
run-
the chemical dependencies
Yeah.
too.
sure. Yeah.
But I mean, you're smelling pain all day.
Yeah.
You know, and then
Yeah.
I mean, it's not an excuse, but
Yeah.
it's tough.
Yeah, I mean, I was done of being scared. I was scared of everything.
Yeah.
Scared I'd see somebody at the grocery store or the gas station that I'd screwed over. You know, scared that I was going to have to see somebody that I owed a bunch of money to. Like,
Yeah.
I was just scared of everything. I was scared of myself. Like, I wanted to fucking die.
Yeah, when you said the thing about how everybody thought about you and like you had to be in my head, all I could think was interesting because to an extent, yes, but like, was it really you that was, you didn't want to be around yourself, you were hiding from, which I know it is, but when you say that, because, you know, you don't, I think, I get the vibe, I get the feeling, that energy is real because it was such a stressful fucking time all the time, and you're always waiting for the shoe to drop, and it's like, how do I personally show that all I want is to love you and for you to heal so you're okay, and at the same time prepare for your death.
Right. Well, what I'm saying is like,
But that's what I had to come to because it was
Right.
that strong where I was
know, you
I had to, you know, fucking boundaries. Who
Yeah.
wants them when you just see someone you love?
Well, it's a tough place to
Struggling.
be when you're in active addiction, active alcoholism, and like you go to like a family function, and it's like nobody's.
The elephant's there.
The
in
elephant
the
is
room.
there.
Yeah.
Everybody is sad. One.
Sad.
Because
sad, yeah.
you're not that person.
Yeah.
They don't look at Bama and just be like, "This isn't my Bama.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is a different person that I don't want to be around." But we love him, so we need him here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just fighting to
You
get
know,
that person
I
back.
hated family functions because even when you were sober, like you couldn't even go to the bathroom without somebody standing there like
Ab-
Oh yeah.
100%.
Oh yeah.
just
Yeah.
like
I still
doing
catch
it.
myself doing it
Yeah.
with him.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, you walk away for 5 minutes and everybody's like, "Where is it? Where are you hiding?"
That's so wild because when he was in the bathroom before he came, I went in the bathroom after him and I'm like, I didn't hear the toilet flush and I literally went through that
It runs
process
through
in my
your
head.
brain,
It
yeah.
changed.
But I'm like, I didn't hear the like my
No, but
brain
that's-
actually
it's-
went
and
to that. I
it's
thought that in my
shitty
head.
You've done that to people, you know.
Absolutely.
Like looking on the counter,
Yeah.
I'm like, no, there's
But, like-
nothing here. You would never do that. We're gonna have a podcast.
That's where I would go. I'd go
yeah.
use in the bathroom.
Yeah.
Like,
I had bottles hid everywhere.
Sure.
You know, I would even find them, you know, and everywhere. I mean, in the couch cushions, under the couch,
Yeah.
outside, in the garage, locked in my toolbox. You know, I had them anywhere. You can say, "Oh, I found it. He's not drinking today." Haha,
Yeah.
joke's on you. There's like 40 other bottles here.
Right.
You know, yeah, it was tough. You know, and I never want to go there again. You know, some people can say like they're living in hell, but that was hell.
sure.
You know, you had an internal clock on how soon you had to get to the store or you were going to get sick.
Right.
You know, and it was like clockwork. You know, you knew, all right, I had to get up. You knew exactly what time the store's open, what days.
There was nothing else important.
No, because you didn't want to get sick. It wasn't fun anymore.
Right.
You weren't doing it because you wanted. You were just maintenance now. You were like, shit, I gotta, you know,
Sure.
or I'm gonna start throwing up and dry heaving. You know, I had to, you know, and people that don't understand it, who just dump all your stuff out, they don't realize they can actually kill you by doing that.
Yeah.
Is the wild part. I remember going to treatment once. I was flying out to California, but I was shaking so bad. I had to have my buddy Tom bring me some.
Yeah.
Because they'll tell you when you're going, I don't know if they told you, but they said don't stop using it until you
Oh,
get
yeah,
here because they
absolutely.
don't want you having a
Oh, yeah.
seizure or,
Yep.
you know, anything like that. So they tell you to keep going. But
Yeah.
I couldn't get on the plane
Yeah.
because I was so sick.
Right.
You know, and he brought over a pint of Jack Daniels and I slammed that whole pint down and got on the plane.
Yeah.
Drank the whole time on the plane because it was a 6-hour flight. So, you know, we start coming down.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I didn't want to get sick on the plane. You
Yep.
know, I'm a 300-pound guy. You've been in a bathroom on a plane.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
not fun. Yeah, so it's maintenance, but it, you know, yeah, like I said earlier, I think the toughest about being sober is just relearning how to do everything. You know, I play this stupid game on my phone my wife hates but it keeps my mind busy because an idle mind is the devil's playground.
Sure.
You know, if it was up to me, we would sell our house and move because there's so many, you know, reminders, dude.
Yeah.
You know, so much ugliness that's happened there.
Yeah.
But you know, she's like your sister. She's just she loves decorating and doing all kinds of stuff. But she's definitely, my wife is definitely an angel. You know,
Yeah.
the shit she's been through, but still walks out with a smile every day. And you know, she's like the rock that holds my whole family together. You know,
Awesome.
it's funny. Everybody calls her when they need something. It's just, she's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's awesome, man.
This is live, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's gonna hear it.
Oh, it's not live.
Oh, I can't say this on live.
Yeah, it sounds like you've gotten so many miracles in your life.
Yeah.
You know, and I look at a lot of addicts and alcoholics who've done a lot of dirt and are saved for a certain reason.
Yeah.
There's something that's gonna be in your path where you're that tool for your higher power.
So I prayed a lot about, you saved me for a reason. Why?
Right.
And I don't have the honest answer that I'm seeking, but what I do get a lot of joy out is helping others.
Sure.
I've got a list of people that are now sober, that I have helped in one way or another, whether it's
Awesome.
bringing them to the airport to get them treatment, or just being that friend they call when, life's going to hell.
Yeah.
And it's hard. Getting somebody to get sober is very hard.
Sure.
And I had one friend almost caused me to relapse, getting him to rehab because it was so painful to see. And it's like, dude, you're doing this to your own family. And then it clicked, like, I did that to my family.
Sure.
That sucked.
Yep.
And here you gotta learn a new way to deal with your feelings, because before it's like, oh, I don't want to feel that way. I'm just gonna go drink. You
Right.
made me mad or I'm sad. I'm just gonna drink. But now it's like, now you're feeling those feelings. I probably cried more in the last 2 years than I've cried in my whole life combined.
Sure.
Because
Yeah.
now you're feeling emotions, and it's like, it's wild. It's just a whole new world. It's tough though, like I have to, anywhere we go, I make sure we have our own car. I don't ride with anybody because I know if I'm like, oh, I gotta go.
Yeah.
And the people that I hang around with, they know, they don't bust my balls.
Sure.
If I gotta go, I gotta go.
Yeah.
But it's to the point now where, I don't put myself around people drinking, but it doesn't bother me if they are.
Right.
Because I know I'm never going to do that again.
Yeah.
But I don't constantly, like I had a friend that worked at a bar, and I enjoy bar food. I don't know why, I just do. I like the environment, the music, whatnot, watching the game. But I would only go to their bar because I knew they would never ask me if I wanted to drink.
Right.
So it was safe. I wouldn't go to any other place,
Yeah.
Especially without my wife.
Right.
Because she'll know, she'll look at me and she'll be like, you want to go, don't you?
Yeah. Time to go.
Yeah. And it
That's
sucks for
amazing.
her, because maybe she's having fun or something,
Yeah.
but I think she would rather have me, sober and miss out on a little bit of fun than,
Sure.
And if, she doesn't really drink, but I would never tell her she can't go have fun.
Yeah. Of course.
That would just be selfish. So,
Yeah.
it doesn't bother me if she does. I'm the one that had the issue, but she's so cool, she just does her own thing, and she doesn't, she knows if I gotta go, I gotta go.
Yeah.
And that's cool. But she's given me more grace than I'm deserved, and she hates when I play this stupid phone game. But like I said, it keeps me busy, and it keeps me from thinking about alcohol, because there's not a minute that goes by that I'm awake,
Yeah.
or hell, even sleeping. I have dreams about alcohol that I don't think about it.
Right.
So I don't think unless you've been through it, you understand it.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, she's definitely given me a lot of fucking grace. So.
pretty cool.
It's amazing, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your whole story is amazing, you know?
Yeah, I mean, it is a lot more you could talk about.
Yeah. I bet.
Sheesh, we might need a round two.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's I don't know. I don't know where it all, like, why it happened, you know,
Yeah.
how. I did, probably from growing up and stuff, you know, like I said, I held on to a lot of stuff as a kid. You know, we grew up in the time when you didn't talk about certain things that had happened, you know, like, I guess I don't really want to talk about that, but you don't talk about it, you know,
Yeah.
just sweep it under the rug. And then, so you hold on to that, because then when you get hurt like that as a kid and the people that are supposed to protect you, they don't, and they just like sweep it under the rug like it didn't happen,
Right.
then you feel betrayed. And I think that just snowballed, you know, from a kid to an adulthood. I mean, it's just like, it just sounds stupid, I guess, but it does.
Yeah.
You know, you don't realize what happens to you as a kid, how it affects you as an adult, you know. And I'm like super conscious on how I raise my kids. You know, we grew up getting ass whoopings, bad.
Yeah.
I love my parents. You know, I'll never be mad about them for it. I mean, they had 4 boys, and we were hellions. You know, and but it affects you.
Sure.
You know, so, you know, have I spanked my kids? Yeah. How many times? Hardly ever.
Yeah.
You know, because I learned, I took psychology in college, and I learned certain ways to deal with them without having to put my hands on them, you know. Like, my son's funny. He's this tough kid. I mean, he's dislocated his elbow, didn't even cry. Had to get staples, didn't cry.
Yep.
You know, he's a tough kid. But his ears don't work unless you get down to his eye level
Yeah.
to talk to him. If I talk to him standing up, shuts right down, right?
Really?
Especially if he knows he's in trouble. But if I get down on his eye
yeah.
level, right, no problem,
Interesting.
right?
Yeah.
I would have never learned that unless I went to school.
Right.
You know,
right.
I would have just resorted back to how I grew up and
Oh,
screaming,
wow.
yelling.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, so there's different parenting for different kids.
Sure.
It's pretty cool. And, you know, like I said, I coach football, and one of the coolest things is I couldn't do a whole lot last summer because I was pretty weak. But when my son saw me starting to work out again, he comes up to me, he goes, "Dad," I said, "What's up, AJ?" He goes, "Can you coach me this year?" And dude, when I tell you,
Ooh, yeah.
more pride than I've
That's
ever
the
had in my
stuff.
life. It was cool.
Yeah.
It was cool. And then, you know, my daughter wanted to play football because I was coaching.
Nice.
You know, and so she's tough on me, but at every one of her game or her cheer events, I'm her loudest fan.
Yeah.
And I mean, she looks like she gets mad or acts like it, but I know deep down she loves it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's funny. Oh,
It's
Incredible.
amazing, man.
yeah. How many kids do you have?
I have 2.
2. You
Yeah.
have kids?
Nope.
Nope.
Not yet.
Skied by that one, huh?
For now.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a wild ride being an addict alcoholic parent and then being a sober parent. Like, how many things I fucking missed
Yeah.
when I was in active use
Yep.
with my children.
Yep.
You know, I mean, I'm just going through like the motions with my daughter and how much more I've retained in the last year, and
Even
how
just
much more I
remember.
cherish, and
Yeah.
how much more I listen,
Yep.
how much more I can be understanding and compassionate. When before it was, if you don't fucking listen to me,
Oh, yeah.
you're in timeout, and
You're
that's
an angry
the
parent.
only rule.
Yeah.
That's the only rule. And anything you do wrong, you just get thrown in the room. You know, because I don't have time to deal with you. I'm too worried about all the
Focusing on
things
me.
that I'm selfish about. And what a blessing to be present today and be understanding and be the power of example for these kids that I never was.
Yep.
You know, it's beautiful. You know, you have a child coming,
Yep.
and you have 2 older kids. There's so it was kind of the same dynamic for me. My son's 13, my daughter's 5. I had my son, and it was like survival mode.
Yep.
You know, you're a young parent on top of being an addict alcoholic. Like, I'm not paying attention to anything. I'm just trying to survive the day.
It's amazing they survived.
It's amazing they survived. But then getting to redo it with a child
That's the coolest thing.
is like,
Yeah.
one, I made a lot of mistakes with my son. I can be accountable for that. But I can also learn from that, but also being sober and being able to learn from my past fatherhood mistakes
Yep.
is what a blessing, you know.
Yeah,
And
my,
I get to watch so much more. I'm so much more. I get to retain a lot more too because I want to. I want to hold on to it. It's my last kid. It's my last experience with watching a human grow.
Goes quick too. You know.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Yeah, my mentor, my boxing coach, she said it best. She said, "This child's not gonna have to compete with alcohol." It was cool. It hit home. You know, it's like it's true. You know, I'm gonna be present.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not gonna be hungover. I'm not gonna be drinking.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be present. You know.
Yeah.
And I think, like you said earlier, you know, you lost a lot of time. So now, anytime, like, especially my son, when he says, you know, Dad, can we play catch or anything?
Yeah.
Yep. You know, I try to be yup, unless
Yeah.
I really have something going on. But I don't want him to be like, oh, my dad was never there. You know, I want him to be like, oh, man, my dad played football with me. You know, he's got a little motorcycle he likes to rip around on. Stuff like that. Daughter's tough. You know, I'm trying to find some common ground with her.
Sure.
I've never met a girl that doesn't like going to get her nails done.
Yeah.
So I tried taking her to get her nails done, things like that. She's tough age. She's you know 13
man.
It's a tough age.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely super excited. You know, we have the house is getting remodeled and starting in a couple of weeks. We're going to finish our basement.
Nice.
So my son will have a big room in the basement, and we're going to turn his room into the nursery.
Nice.
So we're just adding on. It's pretty
Awesome,
cool. It was funny, though, when I bought my house, because it's a pretty good-sized house. Everybody's like, why'd you buy such a big house? You know, little do they know I was going to have a whole lot of damn kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, it'd be 5 kids, and I was telling her my father-in-law lives at the house, too. So
Awesome.
Perfect.
he's like another kid.
It's awesome.
It's great.
Great, man.
Oh,
Yeah.
incredible.
Get to do it while you're sober, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, what a blessing, man.
Yeah.
And alive.
Yeah. Yeah, he's not going to have to sit there and have to say goodbye. So that's,
Yeah.
it's pretty cool. It's actually very cool. And it's it still doesn't feel real.
Yeah, sure.
You know, even though my wife's belly's like,
Yeah.
she's wearing my shirts now. It's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's I'm excited. I'm very excited. There's a lot going on.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, congratulations.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Honestly, it's been a pleasure having this episode.
Yeah.
I really always like when we have somebody that, you know, we knew from what feels like a past life now,
Yeah.
you know, it's
Yeah.
20-something
it has
years.
been that long. And it's
That's
like
20
this.
years this
Yeah.
We graduated 20 years this year.
Yep.
That's
Yeah, it's absolutely wild.
Yeah.
But you look healthy and great and really happy to
Write that fucking
really happy
book.
you fucking made it.
Yeah.
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 It's amazing.
Yeah, we definitely gotta write
Congrats
the
to
book.
you and your
Yeah.
wife.
Time is the only thing. Time
Sure.
is, yeah.
You'll find it.
Yeah, thanks for having me. This is
Yeah.
I was I'm not gonna lie, I was a little nervous coming on.
Yeah.
You know, I don't like you know, there's some people online that are very mean.
Yeah.
So it's kind of tough when you want to get vulnerable and
Sure.
open up.
Yeah.
But like I said to you, I think if you're transparent, yeah, there's going to be mean people, but then there's going to be some people that see it and they're like,
That's right.
it's my turn, you know?
People that need this.
Yeah.
You know?
So, yeah, you know, I expect some mean comments, but I also expect people to look at it and be like,
I don't think we've gotten one mean comment
no.
in almost a year of doing this.
Oh, that's awesome. What
Eh.
made you want to start this? Just helps with your...
So, about 4 years ago, I was in a rehab, and like the thought just came to me. It's like, when I get out of here, I'm gonna do a recovery podcast.
Yep.
Now, I hadn't listened to one podcast in my life, okay? I didn't even like podcasts at the time.
Yep.
And so I pitched it to this girl in rehab, and she's like, yeah, let's do it together. I'm like, yeah, awesome. We're like, we're wicked playful with each other, like, you know, cracking jokes, and it's like, yeah, we'd make a great team. So we wrote down on a journal, it's like, this is what we're going to do. These are the type of guests we're going to have. This is how we're going to approach it.
Yep.
And then we get out of rehab. I call her once and never heard from her.
Yeah.
So it's like...
But wait, side note, you forgot to add in, because I asked this question a while ago, too. And he's like, you told me, I'm pretty sure I can say this. Yeah. In rehab, there was a guy that came in who was a priest. A priest in recovery.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so that got him thinking, like, what the fuck is this guy's story? He's a
Yeah.
fucking priest in recovery. And then something about a stripper. And he's like, I want to have, like, the priest in recovery, the stripper sober, the
Yeah, so my
you
first,
know, he was
my
still
first
wild boy mentality,
Yeah.
obviously.
My
That is
first
pretty
episode,
wild.
I wanted a priest in recovery and a stripper in recovery.
Yep.
And like, you know, I want to hear both their stories and crazy stories at the same time. At first, I was just like, I came up with the name Chaos and Recovery in there too.
I love the name, yeah.
I love the name too. But I just want to hear your crazy stories. I don't want to hear the recovery shit.
Oh.
That's what I was thinking 4 years ago.
Oh, that's what AA is then.
Right.
Hear all the wildness.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
This much about how good life is now.
Yeah.
Sober.
So this last year, I was in an IOP, and I was talking to a girl in there, Taylor, who is very much. I started the podcast with her, and I was like, I had told her about my idea years ago.
Yeah.
She's like, "Let's do it," and I was like, "Yeah, fuck it, let's do it." And we just started doing it,
Yep.
and just got a different guest on every week, and just sat and listened. It's like I've never been closer to recovery, and because I'm always talking to new people about having them come on, and like always talking about, you know, people messaging me about certain episodes and how that affected them. And it's like, you talked about helping others. It's
Yeah.
like, I think through this podcast is my form of helping others, you know, and now with my sister, it's like that adds another element for
Yeah.
me. You know, our relationship grows through this, you know, and
Yeah,
it's
it's cool seeing you guys do it together.
It's really just like it's amazing. And then we get to have people that we haven't seen in 15, 20 years
Yep.
that we were friends with in high school, and hear their story and hear their recovery story and hear their experience, strength, and hope. And it's like, I never would have known all of this about you if it wasn't for this podcast.
Yeah.
And that, to me, makes it all worth it.
Absolutely.
You know?
What it was fun. I told you Pat was messaging me about
Yeah.
the show, but what actually kind of gave me the like, yeah, you should do it is you had Zach Parker on here.
Yeah.
And Zach and I went to elementary together. He was one of my first friends.
Oh, yeah.
We kinda grew apart throughout the years, but
Wait, Drum Rock?
yeah, I went to.
We
Drum
went to Drum Rock.
You guys went to Drum Rock?
Yeah.
We went to Drum Rock. Yeah.
Yeah. That's fine.
Were you in his grade?
Yeah, I was in
I
his
thought
grade.
you were my grade.
I got held back when we moved from Rhode
okay.
Island to Alabama for like
Wow.
the
So
fifth
you were
time.
2 years older than me and a year older than Steve.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Wow,
I was
holy
supposed to
shit.
be 05.
Gotcha.
So I had like Miss Cunningham, Miss Girardi,
yeah.
yeah, a couple
Wow,
of those.
wow.
Yeah, we
Wild.
grew up in the same neighborhood as Zach.
That's funny.
Like right down the street.
Yeah, I was in Pontiac.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Wow, wild.
Yeah, so, and Zach was funny because he was wild as a kid.
Yeah.
You know, he came in and he's like, dude, check this out. And I was like, what? And his dad had got him a rat tail, which was like
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
fake
my
hair
God.
extension for just
Yep.
the back of his head. And it was funny.
Yeah.
You know, he's still wild. But
Yeah.
it was cool seeing him on here because I never knew he had went through all that.
Sure.
So I was like, well, shit.
Yeah,
you know?
it's been
It was cool.
amazing.
Yeah.
Talking to the people that you would never know. And like
Yeah.
thinking
Right.
back, it's like I definitely personally hold this like I guess you get older, you get lonelier, people are doing their own things.
Yeah.
Like, you know,
Well,
it's not
families
the
are.
same. Yeah,
Sure.
unless you're continuing that party mentality and meeting
Yeah.
up in these certain places that if you grow out of that, it's hard to have adult friends.
Yeah.
And I still hold on to that part of my life and like all those people because I was always around these people and this people, you know, when you're younger that it's like, I feel like those people were, I still would hear a name today and be like, oh my God, that person, that was such a good friend of mine. And it's like, I really actually didn't know half of the real stories.
Yeah.
You really
Yeah,
just came
right.
together for that
Yeah, you
social
came to-
aspect.
Right.
party
But
and
they
stuff.
felt so important in your life in that period of time.
Yeah.
It's wild. But the stories, you're like, wow, I haven't heard a fucking thing about your story. And it's like,
Yeah.
wow.
Well, it's also
wild.
funny, you don't really judge a book by its cover because you don't know,
Sure.
they have this funny thing. It's like you don't know who lost a fight with a 5-year-old today, But no, you really don't know what's going on in somebody's life,
No,
you know?
Sure.
absolutely
And,
not.
we partied in high school several times. But I didn't know a lot of the stuff going on with you.
Yeah.
I haven't
course.
seen you 20 years.
Yeah.
You
Wild.
saw you here and there,
Yeah.
driving around and stuff. But yeah,
Nice perspective, really. And it's
Yeah.
just like human connection is.
Well, it just like opens up your perspective of life when you're just like driving mundanely. It's like everybody has a lot of stuff going on, and it's like, who are you going to be nice to today? You know?
Yeah.
Because the poor lady that, maybe forgot to put her shopping cart back and bumped into your car and now you're pissed.
Yeah.
Maybe she's in her own head. Maybe she just lost her
Husband
her
or something,
husband the
yeah.
day before.
Absolutely.
And it's like, I forget that. And it's like, I'm deeply reminded of how many other people are going through some tough things
Yeah.
day in and day out by doing like this podcast.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And I have such more of a appreciation and compassion for humans as a whole. And it's like, sure, I can get angry and, I can think things are stupid. But I'm so much more connected with, just compassion for humans by doing this.
I think grace.
Grace,
Yeah.
sure.
I think the world needs to show each other a little more
Yes.
grace.
Absolutely.
Everybody's so, especially with the internet now, everybody's so quick to,
Yeah, everybody's
pick a
angry.
side and fight. And I was just reading the post about plowing, like how people just talk so much trash about the plow
Dude,
truck
I know,
drivers.
it's
It's like,
insane.
Oh,
dude, it's 11 o'clock. It's still snowing. How are you complaining about your street not being done yet? And it was funny. Westport Public Works got on some lady's post and they just blasted her.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, they were like, we're sorry the road's not up to your standards. It's still snowing. We've been at it for 12 hours. We can't clear the roads fully until it stops snowing. Oh, it was
Go to bed,
hilarious.
Karen.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
hilarious.
And then on the other side, you have these elderly people that
Yeah.
are posting on Facebook. I've seen it nonstop the last 48 hours of just somebody come help
Yeah.
shovel me out and
Yeah.
this, that, the other thing. And it's like, I see a great response of people being like, give me a call. I'll be right there.
Yeah.
And it's like, so I
it
can
does
see,
bring the community
When
together
the
too.
opportunity's there.
So I
yeah.
can see both ends of like this. Like there's a lot of people out there like you're talking, but
Yeah.
then there's a lot of people out there like I saw this woman posted on the war page about a homeless guy
Yes.
on Route 2 and
Yeah.
his dog.
And worried about the dog, though.
Worried about the dog.
Who cares about the people, the humans? What about
Wait,
the dog?
what?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Okay.
and she said something about, this dog's,
the dog's
cold and blah. And so the homeless
Wild.
guy got on the post and was just like, the dog is fed. He's
Yep.
the one that gets the food first.
Yeah, he gets to eat first.
And he has a jacket and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Instantly, so many people posted up,
help him
replied under, and what do you need? What can we help you with? This,
Yeah,
that, the
that
other
was
thing.
cool.
How can we help
Wow,
you
that's
out?
really cool.
And it's like post after post of it, and it's like there are the 5% that are just like nasty people out
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
But the world is filled with some really amazing
man.
And I think that's the heart of us. Like we are craving to help people. We
Yeah.
are craving to do
100%.
good, be good, have
Majority
good
of us,
connections,
yes.
and build each other up and give each other grace and compassion.
Yeah.
And then the opposite side, I truly believe that those 5% miserable fucks, or I think it's a lot more than that.
Sure.
They're just hurting because they can't find that.
right.
Yeah.
So it's
Right.
just a projection.
It's,
Yeah.
Everybody's just hurt and wants to be loved. Love
They
is-
want to be heard too.
yeah.
Yeah.
They just want some attention and some validation and
The-
some love. Yeah.
Yeah.
The funny part about going from living in Alabama to here is here everybody wants to get online and complain and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Alabama, they all just help each other.
Right. Right.
All the
right.
neighbors just help each other, you know. And like when we had tornadoes and stuff come through, you didn't see everybody sitting online complaining that there was a tree down.
Yeah,
No.
They got out there and cut it up and got it out of the street themselves.
You were fucking
know?
doing what you had to do.
Yep, it's
in the
just
moment.
it's just a wild, just wild going from southern mentality to northern mentality.
Sure.
You know, and I actually commented on that post, and I was like, I don't like being those people that go back and forth online, so I took it off.
Yeah.
But I did say something when the mayor was asking, you know, if people want to give donations to the plow truck drivers.
Yeah.
People are pretty nasty on there. And like, oh, the union should be paying for this. You take enough out of our tax. I'm like, dude, the guy's just asking.
Yeah.
Most of the plow truck drivers aren't union.
Right.
They're contractors.
Right.
You know, and
Well-
it's just, man.
Yeah, it's...
So
Well, Steve asked him to be on, so we'll have to ask him.
You asked Frank?
Yeah, I'm trying
Oh,
to get
that's
Frank
awesome,
on. Yeah.
dude. I'm sure he'd do it.
Yeah, that's what I said too.
Wait till we
Like,
get like all this.
He messaged me back after I posted on that thing. I just sent him a thing. I'm like, dude, you know, you get out here and you get blasted every day, but you keep showing up with a smile, man.
Yeah.
God
Yeah.
bless you.
Yeah.
And he goes, you know, he shot back with a pretty cool message. And he goes,
he's
you know,
pretty
the-
active on
yeah.
there, dude, on social
Yeah.
media. Like, yeah.
But he's good at not entertaining them.
He's not
He just-
fueling the
he-
fire.
He just ignores them
Yeah.
and carries on and does a great job. I love it. You know?
He's definitely very respectful on there.
Yeah.
And he's business oriented.
Yeah.
You know,
Great.
this is what we're doing. Sorry if it's not helping you right now. We're working on it.
Yeah, things don't change
You know?
overnight. But
And it, yeah.
yeah, I mean, I think it's cool. He's got the new high schools he's trying to do.
Yeah.
He's got the ice rink. You know, he's done more in his time than
Yeah.
we've seen in
And he's
you know,
not
our
he's not
entire
a fucking
lifetime.
politician.
Yeah, he's not. He's
You
just
know, he's a
he's a
carpenter.
good old boy. Yeah, he's a good old boy.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's doing a great job, man. And I think that's like more of what we need.
Yeah.
You know, not
It's probably why people hate him, because he's actually doing a good job.
right. Yeah, he's actually doing something.
Yeah.
But it's like you get those people who have nothing to do with politics that come into a political position, and it's like, look, you could get Joe Schmo off the road and ask him exactly what to do in a city,
Yep.
and he's probably going to nail it. But if you get a politician and ask him what to do, it's all going to be biased answers
gonna
and
talk
stuff
around
like
the
that,
questions,
you know? And it's
Truth.
I don't want to get into this stuff.
No.
Anyways.
Bama,
Been here all night.
Yeah.
thank you so much for coming on. Your story was amazing.
Yeah.
It needs to be shared with more people. I think the power of example and validation that you could bring to people and that are hurting.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously you're doing it already. You're helping other people and in likewise situations. But I mean, I never knew the extent of your addiction and where it led you. And
yeah, it's,
the first 15 minutes of this episode was like, I was holding back tears, man. Once you said you had to tell your kids you weren't going to last the night. I mean,
Yeah, it was
Heavy stuff.
it was a wild ride. Probably should use a part 2 just to dig more into it.
Yeah.
But, yeah, you said I had an hour, so I just want to be as raw as possible.
Yeah.
But while I'm on here, and since this is going to be online,
Yeah.
Anybody that's struggling, don't give up.
yeah.
If I'll be connected to it, like you're going to share it with me.
Oh, yeah.
Anybody can message me. I have contacts in California, Florida. I can get you into treatment, get you started. Just message me. It's not as hard as you think. If you want it, don't waste my time. I've wasted enough time, but if you want it, just message me. I have contacts that can help you get the ball rolling, but it takes work, right? You can't bullshit a bullshitter. It's one thing, us recovered people, we've said it all, done it all. So yeah, if you want it, let me know. But yeah, thanks for having me.
Thanks, man.
Appreciate it. It's
Thank
cool.
you.
guys.
And congrats again.
Yeah. Thanks.
Congrats on the baby. Yeah. That's big.
That's awesome.
All right. Peace, guys.
Later.